So the Quran has a dilemma. And it's not until later, when this book was translated into Arabic in its entirety, that Muslims started to go, uh-oh, we have a problem.
If the followers of Muhammad knew what WES HUFF is about to expose in this video, then Islam would have been finished before it even got started. Let's watch.
Great answer. Thank you for that. My name is Ryan. People might know me from needgod.net. But my question for you, Wes, I appreciate the talk on the reliability of the Bible. It's amazing what you said. How does the reliability of the Bible compare with the reliability of the Quran? Many Muslims say it's been perfectly preserved. Do they have these unnecessary details and the other things you're mentioning in your talk? If you can speak on that. Thank you.
Great question. For the sake of time, no. That's the short answer, right? I think what we see with, the Quran is very different in that, like I said, the Bible is 66 books written over a period of 1,600 years on 3 different continents by close. The Quran is very different in that, like I said, the Bible is 66 books.
So I've said this before. I'm gonna say it again. This man is false. Okay, just like Christianity is false. For the sake of time, just move forward. Okay, this is what he called, whatever he called. Okay, this is it. That. But now, if you want to move to the big boys, okay, if you want to move like big boys move, you're gonna have to go with this. It is more than 66 books. Okay, they're removed. You see this one, how tiny this is? You see how tiny that is? Because they're removed. Maccabees is not in this. Enoch is not in this. Jubilees is not in this. Okay? So there's so much more missing in this. And this is false, by the way. Not entirely, but it is false. Okay? Christianity, that's what this is. But yes, you can agree or disagree. Let's move on. Comment below, like, subscribe. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. And those that already been here, welcome back. Comment below what you think about this. I'll try to reply if I get any comments. Let's continue.
Written over a period of 1,600 years on 3 different continents by close to 40 different authors. The Quran is one book written in one time, 7th century, in one place, Arabia, in one language, Hijizi script Arabic. And so in one sense, it's not really fair to compare the Quran and the Bible because we're comparing apples to orchards.
Remember that the next time a Muslim tries to use the fact that more Muslims have memorized the whole Quran and Christians have memorized the whole Bible as evidence for the reliability of the Quran.
There's just so much more going on with the Bible. But when we look at what the Quran, which comes 600 years after Jesus, communicates, what we see is that it's claiming to communicate facts about very similar people and situations that the Bible is, and yet makes a lot of errors and mistakes that scream lack of verisimilitude and credibility. It mixes up people and places in a way that just should be red flags for us. And ultimately, in chapter 4, verse 157, denies one of the most easily verifiable events of ancient history, which is the crucifixion of Jesus Christ.
All right. It is written. If you pay attention, if you want to really translate from Hebrew to English, okay, it is not cross, it's not crucifixion. It says he was on a stake. He was on a stake. He was on a stake. Now, and the name is not Jesus. The name is YAHUSH. Yah saves. Okay? So it wasn't written that. Let's continue. What do you think about this? Comment below. It's just point by point, man. I'm not going to talk too much. Let's go.
It says that they neither, talking about the Jews, they neither crucified him, nor did he die, but it was made to appear to them. And it has the Jews boasting, we killed Jesus, the Messiah, the son of Mary, which is a very...
The Jews did not call him that. The Jews did not call him that. Okay, let's continue.
Strange thing to say. If the Jews believed that and thought he was the Messiah, they wouldn't have killed him. So it starts off with an error, and then it goes on to completely deny that this event ever happened.
Now, this isn't an issue for a lot of Muslims because they would say Allah's the one that revealed the Quran. So even if people got things wrong back in the day, Allah can just reveal it, and it's true. But Wes is also going to explain the problem with that perspective.
And that is a problem for the Quran, and one that has many Muslims that I sympathize painted into a corner and trying to defend it. Because even the most skeptical of scholars, individuals who say, despite all the stuff we've talked about, we can't really have much reliability in the source information about who Jesus was, but we can know that he was crucified and died under the Roman governorship of Pontius Pilate. We can know that because of both what the Bible teaches and from sources outside of the Bible. And so the Quran denies that simple fact, and in doing so, denies the reality of an event that we have an incredible level of confidence to say that this event actually happened.
There's a verse in the Quran that talks about how it was made to appear like Jesus was crucified. So what that would mean is that Allah is responsible for not only deceiving the disciples, but also deceiving all of the non-Christian historians that said Jesus actually was crucified. So Allah is responsible for the biggest false religion the world has ever seen. Is that a God that is trustworthy?
I know that the biggest false religion that the world ever seen is I will battle between Christianity and Islam. Christianity and Islam. It doesn't even matter because every religion is satanic. Every religion invented is satanic. Why Heavenly Father does not have a religion. I say this many times. If you get this, you read all this, you're not going to see the word religion in this. You're not going to see a word religion in this. You're not going to see the word Christianity in this. I mean, maybe at the beginning when they're explaining, but in the actual scriptures, Christianity is not even a thing. Because when this was written, what was Christianity? It does not even exist. Christianity did not exist till 300 years later. I'm hoping so. 300 years later. Okay, maybe more. After the Messiah was gone, 300 years later is when Christianity was invented. Let's continue. Not going to talk too much. Comment below. What do you think about this? Let's go.
And then on top of that, the Quran, time and time again, talks about the previous scriptures that the Jews had, the Torah and the gospel. And it says that these were documents that were given in the same nature as the revelation of the Quran. They were given with guidance and light. They were, the Arabic word is natsal, sent down in the same way. That Moses was given the Torah and it was full of guidance and light, and Jesus was given the gospel and it was full of guidance and light.
Who was given the gospel? Look, the same, okay, let's make this clear. The same Torah that Christians, these people, are saying they don't use anymore, that we don't use that, it is done away with, is the same Torah that so-called Jesus was teaching with. He will refer to the Torah. He will refer to the Old Testament again and again and again. He will refer to the Old Testament again and again and again. But yet, all these people that call themselves Christians are rejecting the very thing that their Messiah was using to teach them. Make it make sense. What do you think about this? Comment below. I'm not going to talk too much. Let's move on. I'm just debunking, man.
And then in chapter 6 of the Quran, it says, and let the people of the gospel judge by what they have therein. And if they do not judge by what Allah has revealed to them, then they are the defiantly disobedient. So it prefaces it by saying God sent the Torah to Moses, he sent the gospel to Jesus, and the people of the gospel, Christians, Dan and I, need to judge by what Allah has given, what God has given to us as Christians, that being the gospel. And if we don't judge by using the gospel, then
that God has given to us, Christians. That God has given to us, Christians. I said it earlier. Christianity was invented 300 years after the Messiah was gone. 300 years after he was gone. So how do you explain the fact that this man is saying that it was given to Christians, but Christianity was invented 300 years later? You know what 300 years is? Count it. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, now 300 years. And let me add something. And then when Christianity was invented, the word JESUS was not even there yet. Okay, it came after at the Council of Nicaea. At the Council of Nicaea, man, that's when things actually shifted. If it ain't so, say it ain't so.
we are the defiantly disobedient. Here's the problem. When I do that, when I obey that, when I judge using the gospel, and I use that as the lens by which I look into the Quran, I find the Quran has no understanding of the communication of what the gospel facts are, historically or theologically. It denies its central precepts. And so if the Quran is true and it tells me as a Christian to judge by the gospel, then the Quran is false. And if the Quran is false, then the Quran is false. So the Quran has a dilemma, because this is not just in one place. This is in multiple places throughout the Quran. Because I do not think the author of the Quran had any earthly idea what the Torah or the gospel were, and assumed that he knew. And that's where we get stories from people, individuals named in our Bible, like Abraham, like Moses, and even like Mary and Jesus and John the Baptist, but are drawing on sources not historically reliable that we know go back to the source material, but are often oral stories floating around 7th century Arabia, mostly folk tales and apocryphal campfire stories from this time period of Jews and Christians and Zoroastrians, assuming those are what the gospel and the Torah are, and then making these profound mistakes. And then communicates in an effort to get the Jews and the Christians on board by saying, I know what you have, it's a revelation, and what it says is like the revelation that I'm giving to you, so judge by what you have and judge it by what I'm giving you. And it's not until later, when this book was translated into Arabic in its entirety, that Muslims started to go, uh-oh, we have a problem. And that's where arguments about corruption come into view. And so the first part of the question, is the Quran perfectly preserved? The answer is no. We have textual variants all throughout the manuscript tradition of the Quran in particular manuscripts. There are far fewer manuscripts. And what that does is, in testifying to what I talked about tonight, the fewer manuscripts you have, the more you have to rely that those people get it right. The more manuscripts you have, the more you have the ability to compare and contrast and trace back the original text and have confidence in that. So there are layers of the non-reliability internally and externally to the Quran that communicate that by the same standard, this is true and that's wrong.
How do Muslims respond to this? Well, some Muslims rightly respond by abandoning the Quran. Some of them even turn to Christ, which is...
Okay, I'm gonna put it like this. The only thing that this man said here that is accurate is the things in the Quran. That one is accurate. But the things I said about Christianity really is like, I mean, Christianity is diabolical. But come on, man. What do you guys think about this? Comment, like, subscribe. I'll be back again with some more videos. Debunking. Et Ramzan, Yezur, Baruch, YAHUAH, Yezur. Ça retournera chez toi. Et si tu fais aussi du sale, ça retournera chez soi. On the road going forward, I just wanna go forward. Got my head on my shoulders, got my 10 toes on the floor. The distractions I ignore, on them demons I ignore. If you good, welcome aboard. If you bad, you I ignore. Yeah, man, I was born in the ghetto. Now you know that I grew up with a struggle. They even told me I would end up like a zero, but I ended up with a gold medal. Tu fais du bien, ça revient chez toi. Tu fais du mal, ça revient chez toi. Tu fais du bien, ça revient chez toi. Tu fais